Hi everybody, it's Carla from Casey Creates. Got my cup of coffee here. It's actually late afternoon here in North Carolina, but I wanted to do a little project share, and I decided, since Valentine's Day is still a good couple of weeks off and I had a bunch of things left over, I wanted to make a few more heart pillows, and I was happy to say that several of them did sell in my Etsy shop, so I thought I'd better get busy and make a few more, so I did. And thank you all so much for your kind comments and just sweet replies under the video. You're just so encouraging to me. But anyway, this is one of the pillows that I made quickly after the video, and I want you to know I don't make them exactly pristine because I really like them to have that handmade shabby look to them. So I like when they're a little lumpy bumpy and a slightly irregular, and I guess some of you do too because you've been buying them, so thank you very much. And anyway, I just put the Chinese braid around the edge. It is stitched, so the pillow is nice and snug and the stuffing won't come out, and the first layer of lace is stitched. The Chinese braid is not, but everything else is. And then this is a really pretty vintage looking lace. I don't know if it's truly vintage, but it definitely has that corded vintage look. And then I use the same Chinese braid for the little hanger and the little rose applique just for embellishment on the back. And this is the front. In the front I put a vintage doily over the muslin fabric and then trimmed it with this pearl trim. It's got a really delicate lace on each side and the pearls go down the center. And again, it's not pristine and perfectly straight, but that doesn't bother me. I love that. It has a nice white little heart-shaped applique. And you know, I've had these heart appliques for a couple years and never used them for Valentine stuff, but this year I've pretty much used all my heart appliques, so I'm actually happy about that. I like when I can get things in my stash actually onto a project. So this is some rayon seam binding. And I just want to ask you guys, this is off of a card of vintage seam binding that I got at an antique shop. It seems to be a much nicer texture quality than my big spool of Snug Hug seam binding, and that seam binding is fine, it's just not as thick as this. So I want to see if I can hunt down more of this good quality seam binding, and it wrinkles nicely. It still takes on a really pretty shabby look. So that is my first one. I'm going to measure it here. Let's see, I think it's about, from the widest point, it's about 5.5 inches by, let's see, let's say 6.25. So about 5.5 by 6.25. A pretty little decorative piece to put anywhere, pretty much any time of year too, not just Valentine's Day. Then I have this one, and it is loaded with rose pink flowers, and I got this trim off of a beautiful little girl's dress a long time ago. It's got some threads here, but I'll snip those off later. I'm always afraid I'm going to snip and it's going to end up unraveling. I shouldn't do that. Anyway, it's just got this really pretty satin rose print trim, and then this was a double bordered ruffle trim, so you can see the ruffles on the back as well as the front. And then where I put the hanger, to conceal where I put it, I added this little lace bow in the middle that has the flat back pearl. And I think these little lace bows are in the bridal section where you can tie them around little bundles of like Jordan almonds or little what do you call them, things you put next to your plate, party favors. Yeah. So that's the back. And this is the front, and there I go with all my embellishments. But I really love this fabric. It's not showing up as pink as it is. It looks a little more salmon peachy color, I think, in the camera. But it really is a beautiful pink, and then it's got a lovely rose print all over. And then this is the other edge of that ruffled chiffon trim. And then I put these like mauve pink pearls around the edges. And this is the front of the satin rose print trim. And then as you can see, I just used lots of satin ribbon roses. And my inspiration for plunking in these pearls is always Angie Paisy. Hi Angie! She puts lots of the whole pearls down in her little flower clusters, and it always looks so pretty. And I have a heart embellishment there from that purse that I have that's loaded with these beads, and I like to kind of tuck them in here and there in my projects. And then some leaves just to give it kind of a foresty look. I kind of like the garden forest look. And then just a loop of pearls and some more of the ruffle trim to serve as the hanger. My little Sewology buttons, you can find those in the Sewology brand buttons at the fabric store. And then there's a little cluster of rose flowers there. And I was going to tell you guys I have news, because in a matter of a week I have a new job. Many of you know my husband's been out of work and, well, underemployed, let's say. It's really been hard for him to get back in his field. And so I have been earnestly praying about what I can do for added income. And it does help to sell my work, but someone saw a job posting and forwarded it to me. And guess what they needed? A part-time art teacher at our local high school. We have several high schools, but this is the one my niece and nephew went to, and they needed the person to be skilled in pottery. So is that a God thing or what? So anyway, I of course responded right away, and the principal called me back the next day and interviewed me that Thursday, which was a Tuesday when I called. I interviewed on Thursday, I think it was. Probably the next day. But anyway, in a week she hired me. The semester just started 2 days ago, and I've jumped in with both feet, and so far so good. So I just thought I'd let you know I am now a part-time art teacher at one of our local high schools. Really excited about it, especially because I get to teach pottery. And I still have my other job in the private sector, but this will be my first time as a regular teacher in the public school. I was a substitute teacher, but now I'll be doing I'll have my regular class, so that'll be exciting and fun, I hope. So far the kids seem nice, but you know how that can go. The honeymoon period ends at some point. Hopefully that it won't for this one, but anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you since you're my crafting friends, and I like to kind of keep you up to date. And in all honesty, when I don't do a video in over a week, I kind of feel like I'm out of the loop. So that is what's happening in my neck of the woods. This is the back of my last pillow that I'll share with you. And again, it's vintage shabby chic-ish and very straightforward with what I did. It's got some flat lace here, some bridal applique here, a little embroidered heart embellishment there, and it's basically just to cover up my little hanger. And then I just love this ruffled lace. It looks very vintage to me, so I trimmed it with that. And this is the front, and I've just got lots of pearls. It's creams and vintage laces. This is a really pretty Irish lace that's vintage. So I've mixed in some vintage and non-vintage. This is a fabric image that I printed out and stitched around. And then I trimmed it with the edging of a vintage handkerchief. And I always forget what these flowers are called when it's time for me to verbalize what it is, so I'm just going to call it a pillow flower. You know what it is. And hopefully it'll come to me before I finish. This is a new trim I purchased from Joann's about 2-3 months ago when their trims were on sale, and I've seen this trim on other people's work actually, but it's really pretty. It's got like a little dangle here and some tulle ruffle and daisy applique with whole pearls in the middle. So you can kind of see everything. This is a fabric little sentiment that says lovely, and I stitch around it. This is a little ceramic, or no, it's not, it's acrylic, a little acrylic rose and some applique, and I have a double layer of lace, so I put this one on, and I love this one. This one looks so vintage, but it's not. It's just off of a spool that I bought at Joann's. Love that. And then this is flat back pearl that comes on a sticky back sheet, and so you can cut off as much or as little as you want. So I put 2 rows of that all the way around. So I thought I would just come and show you. The hanger is that really nice seam binding again, and then I put some heart embellishments front and back on the tails of 2 of the ribbons. Here they are, like that. So these are my vintage Shabby Chic decorative heart pillows for Valentine's Day. And I just want to say I hope you all are well. Thank you to my new subscribers. Thank you to my old subscribers who are always so kind and generous with your comments and thoughts. I think of you all often and look forward to when you put videos up. I think I will quickly pop these in my Etsy shop, and that way there's still time if anyone wants one before Valentine's Day. But if not, I sure did have fun making them anyway. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I hope you are well, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.